Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our very first Diversity and Inclusion Week panel discussion. My name is Laura now, and I'm the Membership and Inclusion Officer in Badminton Ireland. Joining us today to share the experience and tips about para badminton, we have Irish para badminton national coach Leslie Dewart, assistant coach Patricia Gallagher, and Irish para badminton players Niall McVeigh. So, long story short, we'll go straight into the questions. The first question I have for it's for you, Niall. Maybe you can tell us a little bit of your background. How did you get into badminton?
Okay, yeah. So I got into badminton at the age of 8 years old. I first started actually through my dad. He used to play at a club level in a club called in Uri. So I used to just go along with him on a Sunday night, and I would have spent maybe after when they were finished playing, I would have spent about 10-15 minutes just looking to have a hit with him after they finished playing. I think I did this for about maybe 2 or 3 years, just spending 15 minutes once a week playing with him. And then I suppose I used to bring a friend along from primary school, and he came along with me, and we did the same, played for 15 minutes, and then we actually ended up, we thought maybe we'd go and do our own little set games, on a separate day. So then we ended up booking the leisure centre. We would have did that once a week for an hour, which is good. And then after that, we progressed into, I suppose, a club. We joined a club in Brickland. And then ever since that, then it's just went from, strength to strength. I suppose then getting into power badminton, it was quite late. It was for life. There wasn't really much power badminton back then, or anything at all, really. I suppose at the age of 14, 15 is when I first sort of known about it was dwarf badminton back then, or restricted growth. I would have went to like a dwarf national games in Birmingham. So it would have been a lot of athletes from all over the United Kingdom. I would have played all sports, but badminton would have been one of the ones I enjoyed. And then ever since that there, it's just grown strength to strength. Yeah. So.
Very good. Very good. How, Tris, and how did you get into para badminton coaching? What makes you so passionate?
I just think that the athletes are fantastic. Absolutely. I just think that like everybody deserves to play regardless. Everybody should be able to play badminton, and I've met so many lovely people and some really like inspiring athletes that within the para range, not just badminton, in other para sports as well. And I mean, they just blow you away. They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and badminton obviously is my number one para. Yeah.
Very good. And how about Les? You've been involved in para badminton for a long time now. When did you start coaching, and what makes you so passionate about coaching?
Well, to be honest, through all my work, I was always working with people with different types of disability. But I was also got involved with Niall from quite a young age. I can't even remember what age it was, but probably was around those early years. Yeah. But to be honest with you, just similar to Tricia there, I've just got the highest admiration. There's no barriers, they don't make excuses about things, and they just continue to amaze me of some of the achievements. And it's not just in badminton, but I think across all the Paralympics, it's just nice that badminton is part of the Paralympics now. Because people like Niall deserve their opportunity to show their skills on the world stage, although he's obviously played European, world level and everything. But the Paralympics, everyone will say, is the ultimate goal for an athlete to try and make, and it's good that it's been included this time round.
Yeah, definitely. So Niall, as a professional player who travels a lot to different tournaments in different countries, can you give us a good review of how your daily training look like? Like, how many hours do you train on the court and off the court training, like fitness?
Yeah. So I total in a week's training, I would do about 15 hours a week. Majority of that is on court. So I'm doing about 10 hours on court. That would range between different exercise or different sort of drills with like multi-feeds, sort of technical sessions, footwork, then some like 2v1 sparring or 1v1 sparring. Also then on top of that, I would be involved with the Sports Institute of Northern Ireland. So I would be in the gym there between 2 to 3 hours a week. And then also with my physio, and then I do some stuff at home as well. Like if there's any rehab that needs to be done, as I'm getting quite old now, so I have to keep on top of that a bit more. Also with my physio and massaging and self-massaging. So I think a lot of it as well is as important as what I'm doing at home, as well as, you know, on court. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and how did you find training during the pandemic? Was it hard?
Yeah, well, to be honest, when I'm thinking back now, it's probably the longest time I've ever went without playing badminton from when I first started. It was, like almost 3 months or something from going. But at home, I did some stuff at home. Yes, some like home workouts, some shadow badminton. But be honest, I actually took it as an opportunity to recover and switch off. So I did, because before that there, we were doing quite a lot of traveling actually as well. So it was, at the same time, I actually quite enjoyed to switch off over the pandemic, to be honest, from training, and I just did more things at home, to be honest.
Very good. So next question I have is for Trish. I know that you're heavily involved in coaching. Your 3 kids are playing as well. So do you think the big difference between coaching able-body and para badminton?
No, like literally you just have to coach the person, not their disability, you know. Just also with para, and so you just need to be careful, I suppose, as regards you don't want to injure, you know, if anyone has any impairments and stuff like that. But I mean, as regards to actually coaching and being on court and stuff like that, they're exactly the same. They're just so enthusiastic, if not more so enthusiastic than able-bodied players. Also just make sure you're giving drinks and stuff like that rest, because I don't want to have any injuries or anything. But I mean, they're absolutely amazing, really are. They deserve more credit.
Les, do you have anything to add? Do you think there's any difference between coaching able-body and para badminton?
I think that, you know, the principles are the same for all coaching, you know, how you plan your session. But I mean, for me as a coach, you know, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses initially, but the players will soon tell you if there's any limitations. And the only other difference then is, you know, if the court boundaries are different or the rules are slightly different, you know, that's the only thing that you have to allow for. The actual principles of coaching are the same. There's no difference, you know what I mean? And so if it's always, say, for example, if it's wheelchair badminton, it's in a half court, the boundaries are slightly different. There's no front court. Whereas Niall, there's no difference, you know, it's full court. I mean, I bet, like Trish said, there is, you know, the shot recovery, the shots these guys get back. Everyone will always say is SH6 the most exciting to watch of the classifications, because these guys, like, they dive to get the shot back, and Niall was the starter of that. And, you know, he's changed SH6. It was SS6, but it's now SH6. But he changed the game, you know, with diving. But everyone else is diving now as well. So you've got to look and go, well, what have we got to do now? So that's the challenge. That's the nature of it now being a Paralympic sport, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So Trish, I know that you went to complete the para badminton Europe para badminton camp 2 years ago. And how did you find it? Is it good? Did you learn any tips that you can share?
Oh, Lauren, it was really good. Like literally, like it's hands-on. So you're not just reading from a book, you're actually like getting to be part of it. It was brilliant. We got to like work with the athletes, and it was really good. Like met some really good people, picked up tips along the way, friends there with other coaches in different countries, other people's experiences. It was just really worthwhile. I think everyone should do it. Really positive out. Yeah.
Right. Niall, so as a professional player, what is your best tournament experience? Can you tell us where is that tournament and why is that your best?
Yeah, actually, Les was with me in this tournament actually, so it was probably one of my first actual international tournament, which was actually a European Championship in Germany in 2008. I was only 17 at the time, but this was our first experience of like more worldwide or European, sorry. It was just from the start. It was a great tournament, and then getting into the sort of semi-finals, finals, but playing a semi-final to a guy called Ollie Clark from England. It was a tough 3-set game. I had played him like 2 weeks previous to this, and I think I beat him like almost quite comfortably. So doing that was nearly quite a scare for me in that tournament. Then reaching the final, obviously very nervous, first final, playing against an unknown guy from Russia. I think the game was an almost like maybe 45 to 50-minute game, but it was the third set, obviously, and it was 19 all, and we had like a 24-shot rally. There was a lot of diving going on, but it was this rally, it was like 3 dives in a row, and I ended up winning the rally, and sort of the place went mental. But the game wasn't still over. I still had one more point to go, and I was very nervous. And then I ended up, just winning the point after that. And yeah, it was a great experience. And Les was there with me behind the court. It was great. That was one of my first great memories of Power Badminton. Yeah, so.
Very good. Les, so I know that you're a brilliant player yourself, but as a coach, when you go to tournaments, you might see different things. So which one will be your best experience or the memory? Is it the same as Niall?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there's been so many highs for Niall, and also, we've had our share of the lows, and his team have had the share of the lows as well. Regardless of how successful, he's been one of the most successful Irish badminton players, and definitely in terms of para badminton, everyone's got the highest respect for Niall in badminton and also in world circles. But for me, that one that Niall said is right up there with the memory. I mean, other badminton wise, I've worked it when I was still finishing off playing. I was asked to coach Scott Evans and took him to the final of the Hungarian, his first international final. But there was 5 matches where he could have gone out in any round. So that was pretty massive for me as well. But in terms of coming back to para, the integration at the World Championships in Basel in Switzerland, to me, that was a highlight, because at the end of the day is all those players, guys like Jano Jorgensen, Victor Axelsen, Peter Gade, Sam McGee, Chloe McGee, Daniel McGee, all coming up to watch Niall playing, watching the other guys, Chris Stewart, the guys that had entered, Andrew Moorcroft, having everyone in the one venue playing, world-class badminton. The respect was incredible, and that's completely how it should be. So that was a personal highlight for me. And just people were asking Niall for his autograph. Likewise, we were keen to get our photographs taken with absolute legends like Thomas Lund and guys they wouldn't remember, like Park Ju-bong, and Niall knew all the younger guys, knew all the older guys. And there was also, during that competition, they'd done all the legends, and loads of the legends were like Ray Stevens and Dan Travers and people who had coached me in the past. So it was just an incredible experience, so that was massive for me.
Yeah, sounds like a really good experience. All right. So Trish, I know that you coached at the last para national squad last year. So how did you find it?
It was good. It was really good. Niall and Leslie were away at a competition, I think, at the time, weren't you guys?
Yeah.
So Niall's dad was there actually, and he was fantastic. He gave loads of advice and was really hands-on, and gave me extra tips and stuff. So it was really, really enjoyable. It would be nice if we could try and get like more people involved, and also get more people on the squads and more para players.
Yeah, perfect. So so just to conclude today's session, can you give us some tips for some upcoming players and coaches? Maybe we can start with you first, Niall. Any advice for new players? I
suppose the best thing is just to give it a go, give badminton a go, give everything a go. I think I always with everything you do, you must enjoy it, and always listen to your coach, listen to your friends, listen to other players, take advice from everyone. Don't be afraid to help others as well, but most importantly, just enjoy everything you do. Yeah.
Perfect. And how about you, Trish? Any advice for anyone who might be interested in para?
Yeah, definitely give it a go. 100%. Like, it's really important that we kind of grow more para badminton around Ireland. So just give it a go. Try it. You don't know unless you try. And as Niall said, you'll enjoy it. Like, you may enjoy it. Hopefully, you will enjoy it. But yeah, no, definitely. Just reach out and just try. You don't have to commit. Just try. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and lastly, Les, how about you as a very experienced coach? Any advice or any tips for anyone who wants to be involved?
I would just back up there. You've got to give it a go, but also, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you're already doing a sport. Have a second sport, have a third sport, have a fourth sport. You might all of a sudden be surprised just how much you actually enjoy badminton. I think going back to that first experience with Niall, we didn't have able-bodied players there at that particular one. But the one thing that struck me going back to that, you know, I've got a vivid memory of the integration between all the different disabilities was just incredible. Niall be laughing about this because he was obviously I'd call it a cub. He was a cub at the time. But at the end of the day, he was asking me questions. He said, go and ask the guys, you know. So he's saying, what about that guy's leg? Why's he got a battery in his leg? I says, well, go and ask him. You don't have to ask me, you know. So just actually having that confidence, you know, but the thing is, when you go to para badminton, you know, guys will just pull their legs off, you know, in terms of their prosthetic legs and things in front of you, and they'll go, feel the weight of that, you know. They'll just share stuff. There's a lot of people who are quite restricted or closed in their mind about getting involved. Para players, to be honest with you, most of them are very, very open, want to share things. They just want to be treated as we are. Just the thing about this workshop is about inclusiveness. And, you know, all the stuff that Niall's got involved in, it's all been about inclusion, you know, inclusion in the junior club, inclusion in an RDS squad, you know, locally, national squads, getting them sparring with the best players, whatever is going to make him a better player. I know, and there's been no exclusion. It's all about inclusion. Okay, yes, there's always challenges. All the para guys will tell you there's challenges. But if all our clubs have an open mindset, then we can really move para badminton forward across all the provinces and regions across Ireland. And that's what we want. We want to find more talents like Niall.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all three of you today, sharing some experience and some tips with us. I'm sure our audience will find it very useful. If anyone is watching this video wants to get involved in para badminton, please don't hesitate to contact me. And once again, thank you very much for the three of you for your time.
Thank you, Lauren.
Bye. Yeah.